It's no longer worth fighting for an uncertain future. Just let life take its course. I have seen a group of middle-aged people sleeping in bridge tunnels, living off daily gigs, with a meal for lunch and another meal uncertain for dinner. There are no turnarounds, no miracles, just living aimlessly, without any prospects, working one day and resting for three, holding a pack of 50-cent cigarettes, carrying a one-yuan bottle of water, eating 5-yuan instant noodles, staying in a 15-yuan poor night bed, or spending the night in a 10-yuan cyber cafe. No dreams, and even less of a future. Sanhé comes from the Sanhé talent market, which is the center of activities for Sanhé youth. They come here to look for daily jobs and settle payments daily to get a source of income. The term "Big God" is a sarcastic reference to these workers who challenge the limits of human survival, living on an extremely low income. In Shenzhen, the Sanhé labor market in the Longhua District and the northern part of Jingle has become a haven for cheap labor, attracting migrant workers from various regions. Many of the big gods of Sanhé have become popular on the internet. Many of them have no identity cards, are in debt, and have no contact with their families. In the Sanhé talent market, some job seekers look for suitable factory jobs inside the building. Once successfully hired, they are immediately transported to their workplaces. However, outside the building, there are young people who do not go inside to look for jobs, but wait outside for employers who need temporary workers. They don't want long-term jobs. Temporary work allows them to get paid daily, and after receiving payment, they can enjoy 2 or 3 days off. Their mindset has deviated from conventional views, so they are called big gods of Sanhé. But these people see this condition as the purest way of living in the present, eating both expensive seafood and simple noodles. His name is Jingle, comes from the countryside, is in debt, divorced, cannot stay at home, and came to Shenzhen with the dream of making money and turning his life around. Reality, however, cruelly shattered him. Initially, Jingle and most people wanted a stable job, like a waiter, delivery person, or work at Foxconn, but soon became tired of the repetitive factory work and constant overtime. He worked hard, faced black intermediaries, exorbitant fees, and fraudulent factories, and eventually ended up with no money. As a desperate choice, he opted for temporary work, no longer wanting to be deceived, preferring more flexible hours. It felt like living in the present, free to work or have fun as he wished. His routine involves getting up in the morning to look for snacks at the market, mostly doing manual labor. The average daily income is around 100 yuan, with some making up to 150 yuan for longer, more strenuous work. After a day's work, he doesn't immediately seek another job but starts a godlike life, playing games in a cyber cafe for 10 yuan a night, eating a bowl of noodles for 5 yuan, and drinking water for 2 yuan. When tired, he stays in a dirty, cheap hotel for 15 yuan a night, which also offers free Wi-Fi. If he feels lonely, he can enjoy a massage with essential oils for about 50 yuan. When the money runs out and there is no new income, he might sell his identity card for cash, regardless of what it will be used for. One big god even jokes that he has several companies registered under his name and is worth millions. But when he runs out of money, he ends up hungry, sleeping in parks, and waiting for the next temporary job. Thus, the cycle continues, with more people arriving, forming a unique lifestyle and attitude at the bottom of society.
Hey, brother, how did you end up sleeping here? Now that you're doing deliveries, you can't even afford to rent a place and can only sleep in the park. How many days have you been staying here? It's been 5 or 6 days. I stay here every night. So you sleep here at night. Isn't it cold here? It's cold, but there's nothing I can do. Where is your hometown? Hunan, how old are you this year? I'm 26 years old, born in 1999. How do you solve your daily meals? I eat at places that offer free food, just 1 meal a day. And with 1 meal a day, can you sustain yourself? There's no other way. How much do you earn per day now? I earn a few dozen yuan per day, just enough to fill my stomach. It's tough coming to Shanghai. I came here to work in logistics. I heard from my friends that delivering food is better, more free. After I left logistics, I started doing deliveries. Who knew, the more I did deliveries, the more I fell into hardship. How can I say it? Delivering food is not easy. The most I worked was 24 hours straight, earning around 100 yuan, 24 hours to earn 100 yuan. Yes, the number of orders is low, there are few orders. Most orders are for special deliveries, so there are fewer orders. Do you regret it? Of course, I regret not studying properly. But it's no use regretting. Have you thought about going back and learning a trade? I learned car repair before, but then I stopped. I was also married before, but the marriage ended because I couldn't earn money, so we had to separate. Not being able to earn money, people didn't accept me, so we got divorced. How would you define the delivery industry? It's a relatively free job, but besides the freedom, there isn't much else. I feel like I like the freedom. A lot of people say you can earn more than 10,000 yuan a month delivering food. Do you believe that? No, I don't believe it. It's all lies, it's all lies. Would you consider it? Sometimes thinking about work, yes, I would consider it. Working in deliveries doesn't work. I can't keep up anymore. I feel like the generation from the 80s and 90s is basically lost. The year is over and February has also ended. Currently, it seems like we're in a very advantageous position, but most people from the 80s and 90s aren't really happy. Either they're slaves to their houses or cars, or they're slaves to relationships. The most common cases are divorces and single people, all from this generation. Multiple marriages, second, third, fourth marriages are all part of this wave. People from the 80s and 90s, even without negative assets, are always dealing with various debts like loans, credit cards, online loans, car loans, mortgages, renovation loans, rent, and car rentals. Who can understand the oppression, anxiety, and confusion in this state? When this generation was young, they never could have dreamed of such a situation. Back in the rural areas, food could be exchanged for other needs, workers received salaries, and after expenses, there was always something left in the bank account. Although life was monotonous, it was lived without much pressure. Suddenly, it's unclear when exactly it started, but the generation from the 80s and 90s began to have to use credit cards. Some are deeply in debt, and many are already overdue with payments. Many times, seeing the clarity of people born in the 2000s, I feel envious. More and more people from that generation choose not to get married, not to have children, and not to maintain family relationships. They might seem lonely, but they don't have financial burdens and are self-sufficient. Meanwhile, we, brothers and sisters from the 80s and 90s, are struggling on the last train, with elderly parents and children to care for. In our 30s, we can't see the direction of our lives. Sometimes, we have to make do with very little. The older generation always says that having a car and a house is essential, but we really can't afford to get sick. If we fall ill, we might not even be able to pay the loan for the month. So, the generation from the 80s and 90s is holding on with difficulty. Who knows how long we can last? I really don't know what pressures you or the people around you are facing. We live day by day, year after year. Without realizing it, there are only 10 months left in 2024, and 2025 is approaching. In these last 10 months of the year, I have many things I want to say to myself, but it seems like I can't express anything. Anyway, I hope all the people from the 80s and 90s in front of the screen can pull themselves together. Let's keep going and
The generation from the 80s and 90s is facing a challenging scenario where economic and personal pressures seem overwhelming. Many are struggling to balance debts and responsibilities while observing, with a touch of envy, the freedom of choices enjoyed by those who came after them. Despite all these difficulties, the resilience and determination of this generation are remarkable. Perhaps the answer lies in learning from the younger generation, who choose a simpler, less burdened life. It's important to remember that each of us carries a unique story and faces invisible battles. The feeling of oppression and constant struggle can be disheartening, but it's crucial to keep seeking support and strategies to overcome obstacles. Every step forward, even if small, is a victory. Together, we can turn challenges into opportunities and find new ways to achieve personal fulfillment. We want to hear from you. How are you dealing with the current challenges? What are your strategies for facing difficulties? Share your experiences and advice in the comments below so we can learn and grow together. If this video has been valuable to you, please like, subscribe to the channel, and activate notifications so you don't miss future content that addresses topics that make a difference in your life. Together, we can face adversities and chart a lighter, more promising path. Let's keep the conversation going and support each other.